Welcome to this comprehensive guide on ransomware attacks and prevention strategies. In today's connected world, ransomware has become one of the most destructive types of cyber attacks, impacting businesses, governments, and individuals. In this video, we'll explain what ransomware is, how it works, share real-life examples of ransomware attacks, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself from this growing threat. Chapter 1. What is ransomware? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is ransomware? Ransomware is a type of malicious software, or malware, that locks or encrypts a user's data and demands a ransom in exchange for restoring access to the data. In most cases, the attacker threatens to permanently delete or expose the data if the ransom isn't paid. In essence, ransomware is like a digital hostage situation, where your files or systems are held for ransom. The attacker might demand a payment in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin to make the transaction harder to trace. Chapter 2. A brief history of ransomware. Ransomware isn't a new threat. It's been evolving for decades. Let's take a quick look at how ransomware started and how it has changed over time. 1. The early days. The AIDS Trojan, 1989. The first known ransomware attack occurred in 1989 and was known as the AIDS Trojan, or PC Cyborg. It was delivered via floppy disks and demanded a ransom payment of $189 to be sent to a P.O. box. 2. Evolution into crypto ransomware, 2010s. Ransomware evolved significantly in the early 2010s with the rise of crypto ransomware, which encrypted files using strong cryptographic techniques. This new breed of ransomware made it nearly impossible to recover files without the decryption key. 3. The rise of ransomware as a service, RaaS. In recent years, we've seen the rise of ransomware as a service, RaaS. This business model allows cybercriminals to rent out ransomware tools to other attackers in exchange for a share of the ransom payments. Chapter 3. How ransomware works. Now that we understand the history, let's dive into how ransomware actually works. How does an attacker gain access to your system, and what happens once the ransomware is deployed? 1. Initial infection. Ransomware infections often start with a simple email. Attackers send phishing emails with malicious attachments or links that appear to be from trusted sources. 2. Execution of malware. Once the attachment is opened or the link is clicked, the ransomware is installed on the victim's computer. The malware then begins executing its payload, encrypting the files on the system. 3. Encryption process. Ransomware uses advanced encryption algorithms like AES, Advanced Encryption Standard, to lock down files. Once the encryption is complete, the victim is presented with a ransom demand, usually in the form of a pop-up message. 4. Communication with command and control servers. Modern ransomware often communicates with the attacker's command and control, C2 servers. This allows attackers to track infections and manage ransom demands remotely. Chapter 4. Common types of ransomware. Not all ransomware is created equal. There are different types of ransomware that attackers use, each with slightly different techniques. Let's break them down. 1. Crypto ransomware. This is the most common type of ransomware where files are encrypted and victims must pay for the decryption key. Without the key, the files remain locked. 2. Locker ransomware. Locker ransomware is different from crypto ransomware. Instead of encrypting files, it locks users out of their entire system. The computer becomes completely unusable until the ransom is paid. 3. Scareware. Scareware is a less serious form of ransomware that displays fake warnings claiming that malware has been detected on your system. The user is then tricked into paying for fake software to remove the non-existent malware. 4. Ransomware as a service, RaaS. As mentioned earlier, ransomware as a service allows less technically skilled attackers to purchase or rent ransomware kits from experienced cybercriminals. It's a thriving marketplace on the dark web. Chapter 5. How ransomware attackers target victims. So, how do ransomware attackers choose their targets? Unfortunately, no one is safe, but attackers tend to focus on certain types of victims. 1. Individuals. Individuals are often targeted through phishing emails or malicious downloads. Attackers demand smaller ransoms, knowing that individuals may not have the resources or knowledge to fight back. 2. Small and medium businesses, SMBs. Small and medium-sized businesses are attractive targets because they often lack the sophisticated security measures of larger organizations. The damage can be devastating, and attackers know that SMBs may be willing to pay quickly to recover their data. 3. Large enterprises and governments. Finally, large enterprises and government agencies are prime targets for ransomware attacks because the potential ransom payments can be huge. In some cases, attackers demand millions of dollars in exchange for the decryption keys. Chapter 6. Real-world ransomware cases. Ransomware attacks have caused chaos worldwide, and some of the largest attacks have made headlines. Let's take a look at a few real-world examples. 1. WannaCry, 2017. The WannaCry ransomware attack in 2017 affected more than 200,000 computers in 150 countries. It exploited a vulnerability in Microsoft Windows, encrypting files and demanding payments in Bitcoin. 2. NotPetya, 2017. NotPetya was another ransomware attack in 2017, initially targeting Ukraine. However, it quickly spread to businesses around the world, causing billions of dollars in damages. NotPetya was disguised as ransomware, but its true intent seemed to be destructive. 3. Colonial Pipeline Attack, 2021. More recently, the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack in 2021 caused major fuel supply disruptions across the United States. The company was forced to pay a ransom of 75 Bitcoin, valued at $4.4 million at the time. Chapter 7. The impact of ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks have far-reaching consequences, not only financially but also operationally and legally. 1. Financial costs. Ransomware attacks are expensive. In 2021, the average ransom payment exceeded $170,000, but the real costs often extend beyond the ransom itself. Businesses face lost productivity, recovery costs, and damage to their reputation. 2. Operational disruption. During a ransomware attack, critical systems may be taken offline, halting business operations. For companies like healthcare providers or utility companies, this can have life-threatening consequences. 3. Legal and regulatory consequences. In some regions, companies are required to report ransomware attacks to regulatory bodies. Failure to do so could result in hefty fines. In addition, organizations must navigate the legal complexities of paying a ransom, which may even violate anti-money laundering or anti-terrorism laws. Chapter 8. Ransomware Prevention Strategies. Now, let's talk about prevention. The good news is that there are steps you can take to reduce the risk of a ransomware attack. 1. Regular backups. One of the most effective ways to combat ransomware is by having regular backups of your data. Make sure your backups are stored offline so they can't be targeted by ransomware. 2. Keep software updated. Attackers often exploit vulnerabilities in outdated software to gain access to systems. Keeping your software and operating systems up to date can help close these security gaps. 3. Enable multi-factor authentication, MFA. Multi-factor authentication adds an additional layer of security. Even if an attacker gets hold of your password, they won't be able to access your system without the second authentication factor. 4. Educate employees. Businesses should invest in security awareness training for their employees. Phishing is one of the most common delivery methods for ransomware. So teaching your staff to recognize suspicious emails is crucial. 5. Use antivirus and endpoint security tools. Modern antivirus and endpoint security solutions are designed to detect and block ransomware before it can do damage. Make sure your organization is using up-to-date security software. Chapter 9. How to respond to a ransomware attack. Even with the best security measures, ransomware can still strike. So, what should you do if you become a victim of a ransomware attack? 1. Disconnect from the network. If you suspect a ransomware attack, immediately disconnect the infected system from the network to prevent the ransomware from spreading. 2. Identify the ransomware strain. Understanding the specific ransomware strain you're dealing with can help you determine if a free decryption tool is available. Websites like No More Ransom provide decryption tools for certain types of ransomware. 3. Contact law enforcement. Ransomware attacks are a serious crime. Report the incident to law enforcement such as the FBI or local cybercrime units. 4. Don't pay the ransom. It's generally advised not to pay the ransom. There's no guarantee you'll get your data back, and paying only encourages further attacks. Chapter 10. The future of ransomware. So, what does the future hold for ransomware? As cybercriminals get more sophisticated, we can expect ransomware to continue evolving. 1. Increased use of double extortion. Many attackers are now using double extortion, where they threaten to release sensitive data in addition to encrypting it. This tactic puts extra pressure on victims to pay up. 2. The role of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are being used by both attackers and defenders. AI can help detect and block ransomware, but attackers may also use AI to make their ransomware more effective. In conclusion, ransomware is one of the most dangerous forms of cyber attack, but with the right knowledge and tools, you can protect yourself and your organization. Prevention is always better than cure, so stay vigilant. Keep your systems updated and invest in robust security measures. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more cybersecurity tips and updates. Stay safe, everyone.